Medicago sativa, alfalfa hay. Alfalfa requires a place where there's full sun and good drainage. Alfalfa is a field crop and it requires a moderate amount of water. Alfalfa is normally harvested in the bloom stage and should not bloom completely before harvesting. In other words, weather can make a difference on this because alfalfa needs 4 days of curing time, so it may be hard to get it mowed at the right time. Alfalfa has a season between spring and fall before going dormant in the winter. Alfalfa requires a soil pH between 6 and 7 in the average depleted and loam soil. Alfalfa seeds germinate between temperatures of 65 and 85 degrees normally. There are two main different types of nutrients. There's macro and micronutrients. Macronutrients consist of nutrients that comes through the air and primary and secondary nutrients. The nutrients that can come through the air consist of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The primary nutrients consist of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And the secondary nutrients consist of sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. Micronutrients consist of iron, copper, zinc, manganese, molybdenum, boron, chlorine, nickel, and cobalt. Alfalfa mainly needs potassium more than anything, with some micronutrients mixed in, mainly manganese and boron. You never want too much nitrogen because of the fact that it will burn the plant and kill it. Alfalfa requires pollination in order to seed. In other words, pollination plays a huge role in the growth of alfalfa and the germination process. In other words, with poor pollination, there could be a depleted amount of quality, which means a less amount of the crop. Alfalfa has 5 total petals, and the 2 lower petals being described as the keel of the plant, and it is encloses the reproductive organs. The pollinators then must have enough strength to force their way between the keel petals to access the nectar and the pollen. The stamen is held under tension, and when the insect trips the flower, the pistil and stamen strikes the head of the insect. Therefore, this is where the pollen is released and where it is mostly dislodged by future trappings and other flowers. Tripping also breaks the stigma membrane, and which would prevent fertilization in the oval. Fertilization may still occur in cell pollination when the pollen is not released. The insect trips the flower. Several common uses for alfalfa hay. The most common use is through forage for animals and is cut and stored as hay and silage. But alfalfa leaves are edible to eat as a leafy vegetable. Alfalfa can be used as a legume, as a plant fixed nitrogen, so it can help increase the nitrogen level within your soil, and is also used commonly as a cover crop. The most common issues within alfalfa hay is within pests, weeds, and diseases. Alfalfa weevil and potato leafhopper control are often necessary for high yields, high quality, and long-lived stands. Aphids, grasshoppers, meadow spittlebugs, alfalfa hoppers, and bristle beetles are the most common pests in alfalfa. Proper harvesting, fertility management, routine scouting, biological control, and selective use of insecticides are the most common and most important way to control insects. Bacterial wilt, leaf spot, anthracnose, phylloxera are the most common diseases that generally cause the most serious damage to alfalfa stands. Although there are several other diseases that can reduce yields and damage stands, but these are the most common. As a family, we raised alfalfa on my grandparents' farm off Kettle Creek Road between Gray and Jonesboro, in the Boones Creek community of Washington County, Tennessee. Our crop is Roundup Ready alfalfa. We use an annual fertilizer and spray application to properly maintain the resilience of the crop. Roundup is a glyphosate-based chemical commonly known as a complete weed control. The alfalfa plant is mutated to be resistant to the glyphosate chemical. We try to mow the alfalfa every 4 to 5 weeks from April to September. Traditionally, alfalfa was primarily used to increase protein and fiber in the forage base for dairy herds and farms in East Tennessee. Dairy farms are now a dying breed in East Tennessee. Today's primary use is to feed horses and goats and etc. The majority of the alfalfa marketed in East Tennessee goes to these type of farms. Livestock farming has become more popular in East Tennessee, so this provides an economic use for alfalfa grown locally. Just go to your local co-op, Tractor Supply, or Royal King, etc., and you will see bales of alfalfa for sale. When we harvest alfalfa on our farm, we have begun to use a discbine mower rather than a traditional haybine. The traditional haybine would squeeze the plant and keep the protein inside the stems of the plants. The discbine only mows the hay. Today's consumers want to see the leaves in the green color because they don't care as much about keeping the protein in the plant. So we have had to change the way we harvest the product to keep the customers happy. The economic opportunity of marketing alfalfa is in the horse and livestock farms of the future. I hope you enjoyed my video, and here's my works cited and citations for this video, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.